Hi, this is Cheri Hardman, host of Diary of an XO, and today I'm asking comedians, what is your definition of amazing sex? So, what's your definition of amazing sex?
Mm, I think that definition has changed so much over the years, you know? Um, I mean, I think when I was younger, amazing sex was really just anyone who made me feel good, which is such a low bar, right? Like that's such a low bar to think like that's what amazing sex is. But I think like towards the end of my like hoeing era, it was more of can this man make me make me hot and heavy and breathe hard? And is he going to use me? You know, like that was like my version of amazing sex was like, did I feel used by the end of it? Am I tired and worn out now because he just ran through me? Um, and like still to this day, I think that that like to some degree is kind of something that I like with my boyfriend. I think that I enjoy that. But I think now the most amazing sex to me is when my partner and I, my boyfriend and I are in kind of sync. Like it's very like we had amazing sex last night. Like it was very in sync. Like he was telling me what to do, how to do it, how long to do it, and I was like into it. I wanted to do all of those things. And then like he came at like the perfect time and like I came at the good time and like it felt very like on par with each other. It felt like we were very in sync, in tune. That's amazing sex for me now.
I do prefer like morning sex. That is the best. Um that's being woken up by sex. That's probably my favorite thing.
Amazing. I think that is when both parties are so excited. It's most likely not your first time having sex together because sometimes the first time can be a little like awkward, and that's okay. But it's kind of like, maybe the second or third or fourth or fifth time you've maybe had sex and you're connecting, you care about each other. um it almost seems like not necessarily like effortless, but it kind of is of like you might be doing a workout, but it's like you're both so jazzed about it that
Hmm.
putting in that extra effort is like so easy. Um, because sex can be really exhausting, but it's like when you're so excited that you're willing to run this
Or,
marathon, you
yeah.
don't care.
I love fucking when you haven't gotten to fuck that person in a long time. Um, I love like homecoming fucking. And like I love I've okay, I was like, what else is in common? I'm like, oh, I was very much topping in all of those situations, all the ones I'm remembering with like this fond glow. Um, yeah, I really got to like, and for me, that means topping. Like topping is very active. It's not so much about receiving. I'm like, I'll get my orgasms and I can give them to myself. I once gave myself 27 orgasms in a day. Like, if I want orgasms, I can have them. You should see my sex toy drawer. It is out of control. I can have all kinds anytime I want. So I'm not as interested in that, but I love the interface.
What is your definition of amazing sex?
Um, you know what? Again, you're talking to a weirdo. For me, fast because I have ADHD. I don't have time to think, and I've really had to examine the fact that I view sex kind of similarly how I view my ADHD. Like, let's get in there, let's get her done. When I was at the porn store, somebody described to me once that everybody has a different kitchen appliance that applies to their ability to orgasm. You're either a microwave, an oven, or a crock pot. And
Hmm.
I am a ready to eat meal. I I am done as soon as you start.
Well, what's your definition of amazing sex?
When, oh man, when you can be silly and stupid during sex. Like if I could, make a joke during sex, if I could just throw all of my ambitions like out the door and just go, this is who I am. I'm going to be, not only am I naked, but I'm just going to be who I truly am inside. That is good sex to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, amazing sex. I feel like it's not even totally based on either of us finishing, because I feel like so many of us now are on different antidepressants and meds that make life very hard. But I think really good communication, experimentation, if that's something the person is up for, and just trying new things and being able to talk and feel pleasure is good.
Mm-hmm. What's your definition of amazing sex?
Sex where someone doesn't leave right away. I don't know. To me, it's really about having a really good connection. Like having that chemistry, which is why I kind of got out of being in the hookup scene, where it's like, it doesn't do it for me if we're just like scratching an itch. It really has to be meaningful in a little deeper way. What would you consider to be amazing sex?
Well, of course, everybody comes. But what I like is like when you do it, I'm lucky that my husband has amazing recuperative powers. But I like it when you do it and then you're still so worked up that you just do it again. And even the second time doesn't really have to be that good, but it's just like you just don't want to stop doing it.
It's like the cool down lap.
Yeah.
I think just like really sensual, like passionate. I feel like I like lots of kissing and like foreplay, and I don't know, it carrying like some sort of like, at least in the moment, some sort of emotions bringing into it. Hopefully, ultimately positively, because I mean, I don't like sexual experiences when it's like negative emotions being brought in, but yeah, and I feel like lots of cuddling afterwards, like that kind of vibe sounds nice always to me.
I guess summed up, everybody has multiple orgasms.
What's your definition of amazing sex?
My definition of amazing sex is sex where both parties or all parties involved they enjoy themselves. Something where you feel like you wasn't even your current plane, if that makes sense. Like I feel like amazing sex is sex that makes you gravitate beyond where you currently are.
Right. Oh, what's your definition of amazing sex?
Multiple orgasms. Both parties getting off. This is kind of wild. I have in the last few years met a couple men that they'll go for an hour and not get off, which is great for me because I'll go a couple of times, but it's like, did you not have fun? I'm like, oh yeah, I had a good time. Like, but okay. So both parties getting off and hopefully me going a couple times.
It's when anything and everything is done to satisfy the other person. It's just amazing. There's no holds barred. There's no hang-ups. There's no nothing. There's nothing that you would not do to please that other person. And when you find somebody that you can do that with, it's always going to be amazing. Always.
What's your definition of amazing sex?
Someone who makes your toes curl.
Oh.
The cop I dated after my divorce, he handcuffed me and took my hands and shanked me to the bedpost, and my back arched, and he got just the right slant. And that's great sex. I recommend it.
I would say where um I would like to say at least coming 3 times or more. Um I I don't get to do a lot of positions now since my surgery, but I have been able to enjoy doggy style again, which is definitely my turn on. I get to hang out down there and not have them worry about it.
Where your legs are shaking and you just feel like exhausted and euphoric and you just feel good, like, yeah, haven't felt before, you know. I think when you have that like leg shaky, just relaxed but excited, that's you just like
There's so many different avenues. I think again, the older I get, I think communication is amazing sex, right? Because if you can have fun and both individuals get what they came for and you can giggle and try different things, that's amazing sex, right? Nobody wants that first time you have sex with somebody, that shit is awkward as fuck. That's not amazing sex. It's the second or third time after you have that conversation and you actually have that connection. I think a lot of people, even if it's casual sex, you could still meet a motherfucker and connect with them and have great sex. It's that communication has to be there.
I think great sex is having that connection. It's a total. I think you could have great sex, and I think you have phenomenal sex, and then you could just have like, whatever. Phenomenal sex is when you actually connect with somebody. Phenomenal sex is like more than just the sex, where it's like almost like an out of body experience. You know.
Yeah, I think definitely I'm finding the sweet spot as like between kink and sex lately. I did a lot of
I would say just very generally chemistry. Like if you have chemistry with somebody and you find them attractive and you can communicate with them really well and you have like that X factor going on partnership wise, that's always the thing that sets it apart because you're automatically more comfortable and you're more willing to like laugh at yourself because sex can be really ridiculous. And you're able to be more vulnerable with somebody. And I think that if you're not and if you don't have chemistry, you're just putting on an act, you know?
What is your definition of amazing sex?
I think it's just like when sex is a vibe, like you guys it's a good time and you feel that, you're not having to wonder, like, is she having a good time? Like, I can't tell. Like, it's without a doubt, she's having a good time. You're having a good time. I think it's just like a feeling.
Right.